So, what if you could learn a language not from a stuffy textbook, but from the actual streets of your own city? It sounds kind of cool, right? Well, today we're going to look at a really fascinating program that does exactly that. It completely flips the script on language learning by turning an entire city into, well, a living, breathing classroom. I mean, if you've ever tried to learn a second language, you totally know this feeling, right? You can spend hours and hours memorizing verbs and grammar rules. But then, how do you actually bridge that gap? You know, the one between knowing the words and being able to use them with confidence in the real world when it actually counts? And that right there, that's the core challenge we're talking about today. It's this huge gap between the classroom and the city. So let's kind of break down what that really means for the students. Okay, so here's the problem in a nutshell. You've got students who have a really solid grasp of grammar. You know, the theory is all there. But when it's actually a time to speak, there's this major disconnect. They just don't have enough chances to use English in real, unscripted situations. And those are the exact situations that build real fluency and those super important professional skills, like public speaking or just thinking on your feet. And look, this isn't just some abstract academic problem. We're talking about a city like Barranquilla, which is a major cultural and economic hub in Colombia. In a place like that, being able to communicate professionally in English, that's not just a nice little bonus skill to have. It's a massive, massive advantage in the global marketplace. So, faced with this exact challenge, a university came up with this, well, honestly, a brilliant solution. And the idea itself is so simple, but its impact is incredibly powerful. It all comes down to this: learning by explaining. And this is it. It's called BAQ Training. It's this super innovative English club that was developed by the business faculty at Universidad Reformada. And the name itself gives you a little clue, right? BAQ, that's the airport code for Barranquilla. Pretty clever. Okay, and here's the core idea, the philosophy that makes this whole thing tick. Students stop being passive learners, just consuming information about English. Instead, they become active users. They start using the language to create something really valuable, a compelling, interesting explanation of their very own city. Yeah, and I really want to be clear about this. This is not your typical after-school English club. Not at all. It's a full-on, hands-on training program. The students are learning these specific vocabulary and skills they need to actually guide visitors, describe landmarks, and professionally represent their city. And they're doing it all in English. So you might be asking, okay, that sounds great, but how do they actually do it? Well, the program is built on a really clear three-part system. Let's take a look at how it all builds from the ground up. All right, first up is theory. Makes sense, right? Students hit these workshops to get the basics down, the foundational knowledge and all that specialized vocabulary. Then step 2 is experience. They go on an actual guided expedition through the city's most important sites. But it's that final step, practice, that really locks it all in. They have to take everything they've learned, process it, and then present it themselves. That's how you turn knowledge into a real skill. And this isn't just some vague idea either. It happens on a really clear, compact timeline. So for a couple of months, they're building up that theoretical base. Then, boom, they have the immersive city tour. And get this, just 2 weeks after that, they're already on their feet, putting it all into practice. It's this super rapid cycle of learning and then immediately doing. Which, of course, brings us to the payoff. The big question: what do the students actually get out of all of this? And let me tell you, the results go way, way beyond just getting better grades in English class. I mean, the benefits are just huge. Their English fluency, it improves dramatically, of course. But it's what happens beyond that that's so cool. They're developing real professional communication skills, leadership abilities, a truly global mindset. And all of that adds up to one critical thing: they become way more employable. They're walking away with tangible skills they can literally put right on their resume. And it's not just about job skills either. The program builds something deeper. It builds identity. The students become these incredibly proud ambassadors for their own city. They end up with a much deeper connection to their own culture, and they get the confidence to actually share that with the rest of the world. It's awesome. And you know what? These positive effects, they just ripple out and touch the entire university. A program like this strengthens the school's whole bilingual culture. It helps them meet their internationalization goals, and of course, it really boosts the university's image as this forward-thinking, practical place to learn. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second here, because it's important to understand that this program isn't just some random one-off project. No, it's actually a key piece of a much, much larger vision. See, the BAQ Tour Training program is really a cornerstone of a bigger strategy called Bilingual Leadership UR. So again, this isn't just a club. It's a core part of the university's deep commitment to raising up a whole new generation of globally minded leaders. And it really all comes down to this one powerful idea. Barranquilla becomes the classroom, and English becomes the tool. That simple shift, it just completely transforms learning from this passive thing you do into an active, purposeful mission. So I want to leave you with this final thought, because it's a pretty powerful one. This model was created for Barranquilla, right? But just imagine, what if it were applied somewhere else? What if it were applied everywhere? What kind of knowledge, what new skills, what incredible sense of pride could be unlocked if every student everywhere learned to see their own city not just as a place they live, but as a textbook just waiting to be read?